Hello and welcome to another episode of our Travel Talk series where we introduce you to a new destination every time. Today, joining me is Myna, and we're going to discuss a very exciting destination, which is Mongolia. And for the first time, we're speaking to a traveler who's speaking from the locations. We're very excited to have you here, Myna. Welcome to this session with Trip 101.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
So, like I mentioned, we speak to travelers a lot of the times, but it's a first for us that we're speaking to someone who is in Mongolia. I want to ask you immediately my first question for you. How does it feel? Like you're still on your trip to Mongolia. So, how has it been for you so far?
I've been here for about a month, and I
Mm.
honestly feel like I live here. I feel very comfortable. I feel like this is my new town. I'm leaving tomorrow, but I feel like, I've been here all my life, so I feel really good.
So I've caught you at a good time. You've spent a month over there and you're leaving. So all the memories of everything that you have done since the beginning are so fresh. So I'm so excited that we'll get to see Mongolia through your eyes
Yes.
and we'll be able to gain from your immediate experiences that you've just had over there. So excited for that. But before we do that, I would like to know a little bit more about you as a traveler. Where are you from and what have you been up to in the past few years?
So I'm originally from France. I was born and raised in Paris, France. I moved to the US as an exchange student when I was 17 and then started traveling right after college. I think when you're very young, it's your time to explore the world and do all the things you want to do. I graduated college and I started traveling with friends. A few years later, I'm in Mongolia. So yeah, here I am.
So you're traveling the world now. Where did you start? What was your first international trip?
I feel like we've all traveled as children, but it's hard to remember things about the culture. So I start counting starting 2016. My first trip as an adult with my best friend was
Mhm.
in Brazil, and that's what got
Oh.
me into traveling. It was great.
And since 2016, you have also been documenting your travels, like you share about them on your social media handle.
Yes, I've been sharing my travels definitely more actively for the past 3 or 4 years with new applications coming out, Instagram and TikTok and things is more easy. It's easier now to share
Mhm.
content since 2021, but since 2016, pretty much, yeah.
Because that's what helps other people also gain from your experiences and plan their trips and get inspired because that's what travel is all about.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said you've spent a month in Mongolia. Was it a part of a longer trip that you were doing on this side of the world? Because you're based out of the US.
Yes, I guess I'm based out of here now. No, I'm joking. But I've been here forever. So I came with a one-way ticket because I figured that Mongolia would be a different beast as far as how to navigate it. So I decided to come here and just plan everything once I actually get on the ground. So
Oh,
it led me to be here for almost 30 days.
so you're like a spontaneous traveler. You like to arrive in a destination and then take it from there.
I would say it depends. Usually I don't, but it's hard to plan this destination depending on what you want to see. You want to have like a custom itinerary. You want to get here and talk to people in person and see who can help you do what. I thought I
Ah,
would just come and try to figure it out. Yeah, usually I plan my trips, but this one was a little tricky.
it's also not that much has been documented about it still. Like it's still emerging destination. So it makes
hmm
a lot of sense what you say that in-person exploration is what would make sense. Also, you're an experienced traveler. So for you to land up the tricks of the game, how to like find the people who will be able to help you land up like the best of and tell you where you should go and when you should go.
Yes.
Was Mongolia on your radar? Had someone recently visited, or how did you decide that you wanted to spend almost a month in this country?
Yes, over the past 3 years after COVID, I've noticed that a lot of people started tracking the same destinations online. I would see beautiful destinations. Mexico is gorgeous. Tulum is gorgeous. Bali is beautiful. But I started seeing the same sceneries over and over, and I'm like, there has to be some other places to see. So let me look at other places that I don't necessarily see online that I would like to know more about. I was just very curious about Mongolia. I haven't seen anybody go there. So I thought maybe I should go and just find out for myself.
Oh, so it was like an expedition for you.
Totally, I'm here
And
exploring.
did you plan to be here for a month, or did you think that you'll take it as it goes?
I honestly didn't plan on being here for a month. I told my friends I'll be back in 2 weeks, and then 4 weeks later, I'm still here. I didn't think I was gonna be here that long. I don't mind it, but I think traveling is a beautiful thing, so it's never a bad thing when you're somewhere longer than you think you should be. I think you can learn more if you stay longer, so I'm just
So,
taking everything in.
so did you extend because there was more you wanted to see, and as you were getting to speak to more people, you found out that there were more things you wanted to do.
Yes, I came with in mind, I want to do this and this. And then got here, talked to locals, and they told me, oh, this is better than this, or this is not as great as this. Or if you want to go there, there's only flights on Wednesdays or Thursdays. And if it's a Sunday, you have to wait. That's why it led me to stay this long. It's more like getting feedback from locals on the things that would be more beautiful to see, and also timing wise with flights and transportation.
Okay. Based on ground feedback, things have been flexible and dynamic for you.
Really, yes, yes.
Okay, that's wonderful that based on what the locals were telling you, you were able to move around things. And then, of course, sometimes it was required because, like you
Yeah.
said, there are only certain days when flights are available. But it can get intimidating, of course. But it's also such a fun way to embrace things as they're coming and take it at the pace at which they will pan out for you.
Yes, absolutely.
Right now, towards the end of September, how's the weather like in Mongolia? I've read that it gets really cold over there, so I would like to know what's your take, what's your on-ground report for that?
Yeah, it is getting cold. When I got here, I thought I was arriving at the end of the summer, which I did. It was about maybe like in the 70s Fahrenheit. Then it started getting really cold. You need a jacket or a coat at night for sure. Summer's over. Today was nice. You get low 50s, low 40s, I would say. You need a scarf. It's definitely not as cold as it is in the winter here, like January or so, but it's definitely getting colder. It's still enjoyable. You can walk around, but it's definitely getting colder.
So when you came, did you have enough jackets and stuff to keep you warm?
I planned for it. So I have hoodies. I got two coats. I was ready just in case.
So when does it start getting really cold over there? Is it December and Jan mostly?
Yes, it starts like November, December. January is the coldest month in Mongolia. It's like negative 40 Celsius, very cold. Locals have been telling me you walk out and you can see frost on your eyelashes, your gloves, and it gets freezing cold here. Yeah.
Yeah. When I was reading about how cold it gets in Mongolia, it said they don't need to put their ice cream in a freezer. So I imagine that would be pretty cool.
Freezing cold, yes.
So apart from those really freezing cold months until September, it's a good time to visit, right? When does the summer start for that?
Summer starts in May. So apparently May is an amazing time to come here. You don't need a jacket, you can wear shorts, dresses. June, July gets really hot. May, June, July, August is also nice. End of August, I got here end of August. It was still nice, but May, June, July are like the hottest month here.
Summer is a good time to visit. And if you don't want frozen eyelashes, best to
Yes.
avoid visiting in December and Jan.
Yeah.
How many places have you covered? How many cities or what all have you done since you got here at the end of August in the month that you've been?
Yeah, of course, I came to the capital first, Ulaanbaatar, and then I was in for a few days, and then I headed to central Mongolia for about a week or so. Then I headed to the north, which is beautiful. I just came back from the west, the western province of Mongolia, the border of Kazakhstan. So that's about three different areas of the country so far.
Hmm.
Well,
So you have, in the month that you've spent over there, you've seen quite a bit of it. Almost, I'd say 60-70% of it you must have covered, at least the major spots within these different directions that you ventured into.
for sure. Yeah, I think I've seen most of it.
Nice. Since you've visited so many of these spots, what's the one that's really surprised you, or what's that one city or attraction that really left a mark on you?
Such a hard question. I think I would go for the Western province because it's so different. It's so
Mm.
different. And like I said, it's at the border of Kazakhstan. The population there is mixed among Mongolian and Kazakh. So it's a different culture than the rest of the country. There's eagle hunters, like this the subculture of hunters over there. And it's totally different. The food is different. That subculture makes you feel like you're back in time. You're watching an old movie, and I love when it's full of traditions. People wearing traditional costumes on horses, training eagles, and things like that. That was the
Mm.
most beautiful part of my trip.
Yeah, the things you're describing sound like something you'd only see in a movie. The Western prophets, in a way, transported you back in time.
Yes,
Ah,
definitely.
that's a nice thing to experience on your travels. Like you get to
Yeah.
see the traditions and the culture of a location and the way they've also still kept it going on until the present times.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. It mixed up the past and traditional and modern.
Let's deep dive into what your itinerary has been in Mongolia. So you said that you arrived in Ulaanbaatar, the capital city. So that's where you spent your first few days gathering intel to plan the rest of your trip.
Yes.
What was the city like? What did you do in the capital city?
Yeah. Oh my God. So that's the city is amazing. There's 3 million people in Mongolia, and half of I think 1.5 live in the capital. So
Oh,
it doesn't seem very crowded, but traffic is insane. I went to the museum, learned the history of Genghis Khan, who is the founder and the father of Mongolia. So there's a lot of museums about him, different buildings. Definitely a thing to do when you come here. Went to see, he has a huge statue, 131 meters, an hour away from the capital. So I went to do that. It was great. And just walk around and eat a lot of Mongolian food. I'm sure I've gained 3 to 5 pounds since I've been here. Lots of food, lots of walking, learning the history, and mingling with locals.
what were the dishes that you enjoyed the most?
Mongolians eat a lot of mutton and dumplings. I like this dish called hoshor. It's like a Mongolian empanada with mutton in it. I really enjoy that. I really enjoy buzz. It's like dumplings. Milk tea is also good with every meal. I think those were really good. Yeah.
So food-wise, Mongolia has been a huge hit.
It's dangerous. I need to go home because if I stay here any longer, okay.
The statue that you mentioned, it's a statue complex, right? It's a really huge one that you can climb onto as well.
It's amazing. I think it's like silver. The view from the top is amazing. And you can see almost the entire city. It's beautiful. And at the bottom, you have a museum that walks you through history. But it's an amazing statue. I've never seen a statue like this before. It's beautiful to look at.
I've seen pictures of how dazzling it is. Mostly you see stone statues and even the metallic ones, like they're mostly made out of bronze or something. I don't know how else to describe it. But this
Yeah,
one's quite sparkly.
it's beautiful. It's
I'm sure it has significance for Mongolia because Genghis Khan is quite a important national figure for them.
Yes, he's very adored. He's the father and the founder of this country. There's so many streets and buildings named after him, and he's very respected and things like that. So
Mm.
it's a coming to Mongolia, it's a must to go
Mm.
and see the statue.
So that those were your adventures in and around the capital, which is also the most populated city in Mongolia.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So where did you venture next after you had gathered your intel about what to do next?
Yes. After I figured out my next plans, I ended up going to the central province. I started with mini Gobi, which is like a small desert. It's really nice. You can ride camels and take a little stroll around, and it's beautiful. On one side, there's this desert, and on the other side, there's like mountains, like green mountains. This is how diverse like Mongolia is. From Mini Gobi, you can stay one night or spend a few hours there, ride a camel, and then from there, I ended up going to Halhorin, which is the ancient capital of Mongolia. This is the first ever Buddhist temple you can visit. The buildings are beautiful. You can see people praying in the morning. Then from there, I think Ahorin would be good to stay 1 or 2 nights. And then from there, I went to Arkangai, which is like where there is the hot springs. Nice, relaxing hot springs. After a long day, a long journey traveling to the central province, you can relax at the hot springs. That's where I went. Yes, Mini Gobi, Halhorin, and then Arkangai.
And these were all in the central province.
Yes.
Were you spending time at these spots, or were you also spending a few hours and then moving on to the next one?
Mini Gobi, I spent a few hours there. It is a quick stop. There
Mm,
is the option for anyone, if you're coming from far away and you want to rest, there's an option for you to stay in that area if you would like to sleep there. But it's only 3 hours from the capital, so we didn't need to rest
mm.
that long. I was there for a few hours, maybe like an hour, 2 hours. Then we went to the next stops. I spent 2 nights in Hahorin and 2 nights in Arkangai.
Sounds great. Yeah. It's also from a city to a desert and then the ancient capital. So you're traversing through quite diverse landscapes as well.
Yes, it's so amazing how 1 minute you in a desert, the next minute you are like in an ancient city, like you said, and then the next minute you're at the hot springs in the mountains. I think this is just amazing. Is the city unbelievably diverse.
What's next on your plan?
Yeah. So next, I came back to the capital to figure out my next plan. I decided to go to the north side of Mongolia. Mongolia is a landlocked country. But there's so many beautiful lakes. And when I was doing research online, I was trying to find the best and most beautiful lake. I had this one lake in mind, and I came here and they were like, oh no, this other one is better. You should go to this one. That's why I went to the north to Lake Hovsgol, which is the most beautiful lake I've ever seen. If you're I don't come from a city where there's like lakes that look like that. So just the color of it, it's almost, it looks like the ocean. It looks like the Maldives, but it's a lake and there's mountains around. And to me, it was just the most amazing thing to look at. And I spent 3 nights there doing nothing. You can ride horses, take walks. It's like being in touch with nature when you go up north and just relaxing and taking it easy. Yeah.
When I saw your pictures, I honestly did think that was the ocean. And then I was wondering, Mongolia isn't really near an ocean. So what is this?
Yeah, is she lying? This Photoshop. Yeah,
And
yeah.
even the kind of boats that were running in it seem very oceany. The sheer expanse of it also sort of gives you that it's a lake because it just seems to stretch on and on.
It's so big and it's so beautiful and it's so clear. You can actually drink the water. Most of the resorts around actually get their water from the lake because
Oh,
it's the purest water in the world.
oh
So
wow.
you can drink directly from it.
How does that water taste?
Amazing. I was told that you could do it and I didn't want to do it. I didn't drink the water from the lake. And he told me if you stay at a hotel, you definitely drink the water from the lake. All the water from the resorts and the hotels around, they get the water from the lake. So you definitely do.
You don't have an option. Wherever
Exactly.
you're staying in the region, you would end up having it.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. So those were 3 days well spent by Lake Homeschool.
Yes, it was great. I want to go back. Like, it was great.
Are you sure you want to go back tomorrow or do you want to extend?
I gotta go home. If I didn't have obligations, I would have went back. Yeah.
So this is the north of Mongolia. That's where the
Yes.
lake is at. Hmm.
Yes.
Okay. So which part did you go to next?
After the lake, I came back to the capital again because I was trying to figure out my next plan. One thing that I really wanted to do is to go to the west and meet the eagle hunters of
Hmm.
Mongolia. It's pretty far, and there's only a certain amount of flights a week. And it
Hmm.
just happened that I came during a time where there was an eagle hunter festival. So all the flights were sold out. I had to wait for a few days for a seat to open up. And I was able to find a seat to go. It was amazing. I didn't stay long. I think I stayed for 2 nights or 3 nights. I wish I would have stayed longer because that side of Mongolia is totally different from this side in the north and the south and the central province. But it was just it was amazing. It doesn't feel like Mongolia because it's close to Kazakhstan, so the population is mostly Kazakh. The eagle hunters are from Kazakhstan, they're Kazakh, but you can only find them in Mongolia,
Oh,
which is
so
so unique. Yeah.
they're Kazakhs, but they cannot be found in Kazakhstan. They can only be found in Mongolia.
Yeah, you can only find them in Mongolia, in Western
Oh,
Mongolia, nowhere else. Yeah.
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a different language also spoken in this part in Western Mongolia?
Yeah. They speak Kazakh and also other languages from Kazakhstan that are different in Kazakh. And the people look different also. Food is different. You get more like Turkish food there, Kazakh food, and it's freezing cold because like I really needed a coat there for sure.
Mm.
And it's this whole eagle hunter culture also, which is beautiful that I really enjoyed learning about.
So did you have a local contact over there who was able to help you, or did you book some sort of tour through which you were able to meet the locals? How did you go about it?
Mongolia has this thing like Facebook. You can go on Facebook and there's so many groups. If you need to ride to the airport, you can go on this group and see if somebody's available. If you're looking for a guide, you can go on this group and see if somebody's available to give you a tour. I was able to get connected through a friend of mine, a local, who was able to find a guide to assist answer all my questions. And took me around for the days that I was there. That really helps. And I recommend everyone to get a guide who can speak English and explain to you enough English that can explain to you the history and answer all your questions about the culture and things like that.
Hmm. So one tip for Mongolia is if you don't have it already, create an account on Facebook
Get on Facebook and
and
yeah.
find your local contacts there, like your guide, your operators. That's your best bet.
Yes, for sure. For sure. Definitely plan. I tried to come here and wing it. I'm just gonna get there and do everything on my own, but this is a destination where you need a guide. Yeah,
Hmm.
for
So
sure.
it was a guide that took you to the western part of the country as well.
Yes, I'm stubborn. So I decided to fly there. But when you go to the Western province, there's groups of tourists, tour companies who are taking their clients. You don't find anybody who's flying there by themselves. I think I was the only one at the festival. I popped in, found a local guy to come with me. But you definitely need to hire someone that can help you out.
Yeah. Because even within Mongolia, it's a different culture, language, everything in the western province. It can get tough, maybe.
Yes.
But you said you ended up enjoying this part of your trip the most, or it's really
No.
been special for you.
So special. I think because the anticipation coming here and it's just such a so unique to me. You can only find these people in certain areas of the world and nowhere else. I find that so
Mm.
unique and amazing. And I just enjoy different subcultures in any country I go to. I always try to find like a different tribe, like a tribe that's different from where they live. They kept that tradition for so long, and it's not even from Mongolia, but they are there, and they've been keeping
Mm.
this tradition for so long. And it's only about, I think, 80 or so eagle hunters left. So it's very, in a few years, who knows how many was gonna happen. So it was important for me to go and see that for myself now.
Yeah. And what were the eagles like? I saw that you posed with one of them. Was it scary?
So listen, if you do not work out, you will not be able to carry the eagle. I don't know. Those eagles are heavy. I carried one eagle and I literally had to lean back to be able to lift my arm up because they're so big, but they're beautiful. It's like beautiful eagles, so big. Just the colors and the big wings and just the way even the hunters are like able to maneuver them and they're just acting, they've been doing this all their lives. So it's so easy for them to just boop, lift it here, do this, and for tourists it's like ah! But those are big birds. Yeah.
It's a bird
Yeah.
of prey.
Yeah. They kill wolves and they kill foxes. So yeah,
God.
those are big birds. Yeah,
Oh,
beautiful
wow.
birds.
For sure. Like if they're being used for hunting, they've got to be, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the western province of Mongolia.
Yes, the Western province of Mongolia.
And then did you come back to the capital again after that?
I came back to the capital. I did. There's one thing I didn't do, which I think I'm gonna have to come back and do it, is go to the Gobi, the desert, the China, go to China. I didn't get to go there, and I do want to do it. But yeah, I came back to the capital and just enjoy and relax because it's been a long. I feel like I just finished the amazing race being here. So I came back and I'm like, let me just rest for a bit before I go back to New York. So I've been here since I came back from the Western Province. Yeah.
So the Gobi Desert is still on your list. It's yet to be crossed out. So you need to come back
Yes, I'll have
to
to.
see it.
I have to, and I will. Yeah.
So is that something that requires like more days, or is it like a specific time of the year when it's better to visit it? What is it that, should be done for Gobi Desert?
For sure. I think you can do the Gobi Desert. Some people literally just come to do that and just spend 8 days just exploring from here to China. Or you can go and you can spend like 3, 4 days. If you don't want to go too far, you can 3 days is enough, 3, 4 days is enough. It's not also not far, just that the roads are not straight, so it takes a little bit more time, maybe 4 or 5 hours to get there. But some travelers just enjoy the desert. I think the best time to go would be definitely the best time to avoid would be the winter because it does snow in the desert, which I never knew.
Mhm.
So definitely like spring, summer is the best time to visit the Gobi.
So probably another trip around May would
For
be what would
sure.
be needed.
Yes, for sure.
Now that you're going to leave Mongolia tomorrow, so how do you feel about that?
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. I feel I do feel accomplished because I think it's been a month and there's so much, I literally came with no plan. I came with a vision. I came with questions and I'm like, I'm gonna get there and figure it out. So I feel very accomplished. I feel very happy that I've seen what I wanted to see. I didn't know how I was gonna do it. It's a city that's very easy to settle in. People are very kind. If you're from the US, the UK, or Europe, it's pretty much easy to navigate. There's everything you need. There's malls, there's restaurants, there's any type of food that you want. So it's easy to settle in. So now I've been here for a month. I'm like, oh my God, I really don't live here. I really gotta go back home. I can't believe it. I thought I lived here, but I gotta go home. So I'm sad, but I'll definitely come back for sure.
That's such a special feeling if a country makes you feel like you're almost at home.
Yes, it's been
Yeah,
amazing.
to now know from you about the places that you stayed at, like your accommodations, because I think they are a crucial part of what makes one feel at home when one's traveling. Where all did you stay while you've been here in a month?
Sure. So in the capital, like every other side, like every other like country, there's great 4 or 5 star hotel, hostels, Airbnbs. Definitely, if you come to Mongolia, I would recommend you to stay in an Airbnb close to the CBD, so close to the Shangri-La Mall. It's where you can walk around everywhere. Like I said, there's a lot of traffic here. You will get around faster walking. So if you come to Mongolia, if you come to the capital, get a nice Airbnb close to the Shangri-La Mall or the State Department store. You'll be
Hmm.
set. You can go anywhere, the Genghis Khan Museum, everything. As far as the countryside, there's nomadic people here who live in Gers. So there's a lot of Gers camps here for tourists. Some traditional Gers don't have bathrooms. So there's no
Hmm.
toilet, no shower. I'm more on that's not necessarily my type of preference. So I like accommodations where I'm able to shower and go to the bathroom at night. And so I made sure to find accommodations like that in every province that I visited. So there, I
Hmm.
guess we could call it like lux traveling. But though for example, in the central province, there's this camp, this resort, Secret of the Silk Road.
Hmm.
And you can either stay in a hotel room or you can stay in a Lux Guest with a bathroom in there, which was amazing. They offer breakfast. The gas was heated if you needed to, if you were cold at night. Everything was super clean. It was close to the first Buddhist temple, close to everything that you would need to visit while you're in Hahorin. But you really have to do your research because some of these resorts also are not online. They're either on Instagram or somebody did a TikTok about it. Definitely do your research. But Hahorin, the resort was amazing and pretty affordable. For the hot springs, Once again, I think it was that resort that I found. It was also doing research online. I just made sure I looked at all the rooms to see if they had a bathroom because that's what I cared about. It was Doot. It's called Doot Resort. They have traditional guests with no bathrooms, and they have hotel rooms like cabins. They have cabins with showers, and then they have if you come with friends or family, you can rent like a house with a private hot springs in there, which is also very accommodating if you want to stay with your friends and have like a close gathering. That was Dude Resort. Very nice. It had a restaurant. It was great. And then the northern province at the lake, so many camps once again. So every province has camps with gifts. But I definitely targeted the ones that were a little bit more non-traditional and more like luxe and upscale because that's what I prefer, like I said. And I think it was the most beautiful resort I've stayed in. It's called Double Lake.
Mm.
And as wow, they have luxe guests there, very spacious, affordable as well. You can stay in a hotel on the resort or in a traditional gear, and they also have houses that you can rent. That is the best resort in the on the lake, and
Mm.
I did a lot of research, and that was the and all meals were included, because things
Oh.
are a little bit spaced out onto the countryside, so you won't necessarily be able to leave the resort to find food. So they
Mm.
make sure that all meals are included. And then the Western Province, the city is called Bayan Ulgi, and it's a city. It's a small city, but it's still a city. So there's tons of hotels that you can stay. There are also resorts. If you book in advance, you can book a resort. If you go in a season where there isn't the Eagle Festival going on, you'll be able to get a nice room on the resort. But there's hotels that's like here in the capital that you can book. I so last minute, so I ended up booking a hotel, which was pretty nice. A hotel has everything you need, shower, toilet, and a spacious
Mm.
room, heated. And you definitely it depends on the type of travel that you are. Yeah.
In your case, you mostly went with wherever it was possible to stay in the traditional type like the gears, which are their tents, and on the luxe side of it, so that all the amenities would be there for you to make your stay convenient.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. And all the properties that you stayed at were on that a little bit on the high end side, but they were able to provide that at least. I was curious about that fact that, like, when you're out away from the capital, most of it is since it's very countryside. So, what about the meals for them? But the double lake that you mentioned that had all meals included within the booking itself. And was that the case for the others as well? Like meals included along with your booking?
So for Secret of the Silk Road, breakfast was included, and you did have to pay for lunch and dinner. However, if you know with if people who go there most likely go with cars, within a 5-10 minute drive, you can find small little restaurants where you can buy food. But the hotel had a full kitchen, a full buffet for each meal of the day for wasn't it maybe like $15 unlimited buffet for lunch and
Mm.
then for dinner, but that wasn't included. Only they only had breakfast included, and then due to resorts, nothing was included. You did have to purchase your all of your meals.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay, okay. But it was possible. Like they had their kitchens open throughout the day. So if you
Yes.
were hungry or if you weren't able to find a restaurant, you would be able to come back and have a meal back where you were staying at.
Totally, yeah. They make sure all these resorts make sure they have like a restaurant on site in case you want to order something. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's at least yeah, you have a backup always.
Yep. Totally.
And in your Airbnb that you mentioned in the capital in Ulaanbaatar, from here you said everything is quite nearby, right? You're in a busy district. You can easily pop over to the mall or like there would be plenty of options nearby to have a meal.
Plenty of options, like within a 5 minute walk. That
Mm.
area is very important to stay in that area because yeah, traffic is nuts and you will get there faster walking here anywhere than trying to order a taxi during traffic. Traffic is
Oh.
24/7. So yeah, make sure to stay by the Shangri-La Mall or the State Department store. And the Airbnb, they know, so they put it in the description. Hey, this many minutes from the Shangri-La Mall, this many minutes from the State Department store, so you will be able to know if you can stay, if it's good
Hmm.
there or not. Yeah.
Look out for those landmarks.
Yes.
Yeah, and you mentioned that most of these places might not be directly available for booking, so look out for their pages on social media, maybe since Facebook is really popular over there. I'm sure they're on Facebook.
Oh yeah, they will enter on even businesses. They will enter on Facebook faster than they will enter the phone, for sure. Not even joking, seriously. So you can reach them through Facebook and they answer right away. But during the busy, because it was fall is a little bit busy, and the fall because the Eagle Festival, and then there's this other festival called Madame. But this was, like I said, a smarter, more savvy traveler would have booked his or her trip a little bit more expensive than I did.
Yeah.
You should be able to find
Hmm.
accommodation, book accommodation.
Yeah. You've already done the research, so
Yes,
those of the viewers who are watching this, they'll definitely benefit from all the hard work that you have put in already.
yes.
So with this, I think I'll move into the next question that I have for you, which is about the tips that you would share with people who are planning to visit Mongolia. So I think you've already shared a little bit here and there, but overall, what would you say would be your tips for first-time travelers to Mongolia?
Overall, I would say definitely do your research. Do your research, definitely, and have no expectations. The most beautiful side of the country is the countryside, and people take things very slow, and nobody's rushing, and people don't speak English also. You gotta be patient and you gotta appreciate that. I think at first I was a little frustrated, but also it's like, why should they speak English? Like, I'm the foreigner. They don't have to speak
Mm,
English with me. Do your research, definitely. Prepare like a set itinerary for sure. Hire a guide who can speak English and
mm,
enough English to walk you through things. And I would say you do want to spend at least 2 weeks here, just so you're not rushing everywhere because everything is so spread out. Make sure you have time to really explore and see different sides of the country. So do your research, have no expectations also, and plan a lengthy trip here and get a guide.
I think that's quite essential to get a guide in Mongolia. We've been discussing that.
For
So,
sure.
did you at any point feel like you were struggling with communication because people were not speaking English? Did you have to find someone who could help you navigate in that situation?
Yes, I think out of all the places that I've traveled to, I think this has been like the maybe the top destination where I've struggled. I think the first one was Korea because I speak French and English, and so you go to Spain, you can see that the alphabet resembles the French alphabet, and here the alphabet looks totally different. So I can't even tell you the first letter of anything. So.
Hmm.
That was a little tricky for me. Definitely make sure you get a SIM card here so you can use your translator. And people have been so patient. We will just go back and forth and type it and look at each other and oh, this and definitely. So, and it doesn't hurt also to learn hi, thank you, and how are you when you go somewhere, a different country. That's the least you can actually learn to try to communicate. And people also, when they see that you're trying, they will also try.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that
Yeah.
especially since the script is different, it's difficult to identify anything at all.
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
one should definitely go with an open mind that things might be a little bit slow to come by because it'll take time for you to figure it out and for the other person to also understand you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, those were all good tips. With this, we're almost nearing the end of our conversation today. I've enjoyed into you and seeing Mongolia through your eyes. I hope the viewers will also find the information that you have shared really useful because it is not a very widely known destination. So it's quite essential that you put in your research while when you're thinking about going over there for sure.
Definitely, yes.
So my last question for you is, since you're flying out tomorrow, have you picked up any souvenirs to take back with you from Mongolia, or are there any that you're planning to take tomorrow as you make your way back?
Too many. I don't, a little nervous about my luggage right now because I just too many things. A lot of cashmere because Mongolia is one of the top producers of cashmere. A lot of cashmere. I have a traditional coat. I have some like curd candy. I have so many things like, girl, I just too much. But definitely I'm bringing back a lot of things from here, from me and my friends as well. So yeah.
Oh, so Mongolia is also a little bit of a shopping destination.
Oh, for sure. Fur is fur, fox fur, sorry, Peter, fox fur, cashmere, so many things. It's a
So
perfect, if you're girls who like the dress and like the shop, this is the place for you.
you're ready for winter. That's so great. Yeah, that we missed out on discussing this aspect, but I'm glad I've asked this last question to you, so I've gotten to know that there's an opportunity to shop in Mongolia. So probably keep that extra space in your luggage or carry that bigger bag just so you can bring back stuff with you.
Definitely. Come with an empty suitcase.
Thank you so much, Myna. It was pretty great talking to you. And thank you so much for sharing about your trip. I hope you have a safe flight back to New York and enjoy your last few hours in Mongolia.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. It was great chatting with you. I appreciate you.
Love.